Now, a $6 billion federal grant is helping the MTA stay on track and keep working on capital projects like the 2nd Avenue subway line. The grant is part of the $14 billion federal funding approved by Congress, which Senate Majority Leader Charles Schumer says saved the subways.
The bottom line is that without the money that we were able to get, the subway system never would have bounced back. What the money did is it staved off any fare hike for the next few years. It prevented cuts in service during the height of COVID when we needed our healthcare workers and others to get to work. It prevented layoffs of subway and bus and transit workers.
So the MTA's $17 billion annual budget has taken a huge hit during the pandemic when ridership dropped by 70%. Right now, though, subway ridership is at 60% of pre-pandemic levels. And joining us this morning, the acting chairman and CEO of the MTA, Janno Lieber. So good to see you, Mr. Lieber. Welcome back.
Good to be with you again, Dan.
And so I want to discuss the big federal funding coming your way in just a second, but I want to talk real quick about two stories that kind of caught everybody's attention in terms of transit safety, if we may. Two incidents in the Bronx over the past 2 days. The latest, a shooting on the PIX11 bus on White Plains Road. Any update here? Have there been any arrests? Do you know anything about these?
No, and this is an ongoing police investigation, but the good news here is not only historically statistics about crime on the subways and on buses, on mass transit in general, crime is pretty low. But we also have a new mayor in Mayor Adams who's passionate about mass transit safety, and he and Governor Hochul got together and made this a priority. So we're thrilled to have renewed focus on transit safety. We want our riders to feel safe as they're coming back to normal life.
Yeah, that feeling of safety can't come soon enough. I mean, on Tuesday morning, a teenager was shot at the Allerton Avenue subway stop in the Bronx. Transit safety really a major concern during the pandemic. So will any of this federal grant actually be earmarked for improving security?
Well, what the grant is doing is it's offsetting the incredible economic hit the MTA took, because at the low point of COVID, when we had 10% of ridership, when no one was riding, we kept running robust service, and we kept running pretty much close to full service right through the pandemic. That has, obviously cost a lot of money. So thanks to Senator Schumer, thanks to Governor Hochul, thanks to the New York congressional delegation, we got money from Washington, just like state and local government got money to offset the hit from COVID. But what it also enables us to do, and Dan alluded to it, is to avoid taking money away from the capital program, which allows us to fix and improve the mass transit system in order just to pay, keep the lights on and pay our workforce. That's great news.
Yeah, Mr. Lieber, we talked about this when you were on PIX on Politics, this money that you so needed. It's the largest federal grant ever awarded by the Federal Transit Authority. But here's the question. Is the money enough to keep the MTA afloat and then prevent what nobody wants, which are fare increases and service cuts?
Well, obviously, in the near term, it has allowed us to maintain a balanced budget and to avoid near-term fare hikes. At some point, the federal money runs out. And what I've said to our colleagues in the legislature and other parts of government is we need a long-term plan. The ridership should not have to bear the cost of the budget gap opened up by COVID. We need a long-term plan.
Yeah, I mean, it all sounds great, but how soon will we actually see these federal dollars at work?
Well, you're seeing them every day, because we continue to run huge. So we're running 90+% of pre-COVID service for right now 40% of customers. We were at 60% of customers in early December. Obviously, Omicron hit and ridership went down, but we're already starting to come back, and we're going to keep running that full service that is supporting New York's recovery, revival, and the dynamism of New York's economy.
I'm listening to you talk about this long-term planning, right? And it's to nobody's surprise here, and I'm sure you know this, that just the daily way of life has changed, right? People don't need to take the subway maybe every single day now if they have a work-from-home option for a few days a week compared to 5 days, what we're used to pre-pandemic. So what are those long-term goals that you have in mind to keep some money coming into the system?
Well, first of all, the projections are we were at 60+% on subways of pre-COVID ridership. We were at 65% on buses and 60% on Long Island Railroad. So we were headed in the right direction. The projections are in a couple of years we'll get close to pre-COVID
Okay.
ridership. But we don't have any concern if there's a little hybrid work in the system. What I really want to do is to make sure that mass transit is also always super convenient, super available, and that we're improving the system.
Has the ridership number, have those taken any kind of a hit because of Omicron?
Oh, absolutely. We were, as I said, December 9th, for the fourth consecutive week, we hit a new high at 60+%, 3.4 million subway riders. And we've hit records in the other parts of our system as well. We're now back at roughly 40%. But the numbers have started to move around. And the trend and our workforce, we had 11% of our folks out sick in the end of December. We're now back to only about 6%. So we started to turn the corner.
Okay, good. That is good news there. I do want to squeeze in before we let you go that you're also joining in the relief efforts here to help with some of the Bronx family victims from that horrible fire. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, I mean, look, our hearts go out to everybody in the Bronx. Those are, those are real New Yorkers, and it's just a tragedy that everybody feels. There were a ton of donations from all around the city, including from MTA staff, and they needed buses to move all that those donated goods, and we provided them. So we were happy to help. We also have MTA chaplains because we have a big organization to help the bereaved and help the community members who are struggling with this tragedy. So the small things that we can do to support New York and our communities in situations like that, we're thrilled to do it.
Absolutely.
Can we squeeze in? I'm sorry, just one more question, if we may. Sorry, Byron's giving me the go-ahead to cut into his weather, Janno. So, and it just goes back to subway service because I just wanted to talk about. You talked about the workforce, full service. We keep reporting in every traffic report. Hazel and I read the traffic reports lately, and it's always about the 10 lines because of staffing issues. When will you fully resume service?
Well, again, we did a strategic suspension only of services that have redundancy. So where you can get from every station in our 472 subway stations, you can get to every other place. What we did is we just took down a couple of lines where we had some redundancy and they run along tracks with other lines. We're going to be able to start thinking about restoring those services as our workforce has bounced back. And we had already done some great things to rebuild our worker shortfall even before Omicron hit. So it's all headed in the right direction. Nobody needs to worry about being able to get around on the New York mass transit system. It's there for you, and it's going to keep being there for you. And coming back to the original point, thanks to Senator Schumer, Governor Hochul, and our team in Washington for the grant that lets us handle it.
Yeah, I think everybody's looking forward to this road to recovery. Thanks so much,
Amen.
Mr. Lieber. We appreciate your time.
You bet.
All right.